How's the baby?
Baby's good. Baby's just doing baby things.
And he posted a picture of him. He's like turning into a little nailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that looks like a nailer.
That's
Sure fucking does.
The nailer genes are strong, and he looks a little like Tommy as a baby because Tommy had really big ears. His aren't as big. He's just them hair, right? So he just looks like they have these huge ears. But he's fucking good. He sleeps. He's a little shitty for like 2 to 3 hours every afternoon, and that's like about it. And then at night he just sleeps, and it's like a miracle.
He's like developing a little personality at this point in time too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just starting to laugh, so that's pretty exciting. But then I'll be like trying to make him laugh, and then I frequently do something and it just goes south, and
Then he cries.
his face just drains, and he's just like never been so scared in his life, and his lips start shaking, and I'm just like, oh, what'd I do? Fuck.
You posted a picture. I think it was you outside with him, and there was like a box fan involved or something like that, and he had like this weird look on his face, and I don't know if you remember this or not. I don't know if it was a box fan.
Oh, we had
it was a fan of some sort.
Yeah, we have like a little fan thing that attaches. I'm trying to remember what I posted though.
I don't really remember either.
No, it's good. It's a little wild. There's not a lot of free time. That's like the biggest change. It's not like, oh yeah, we got the one to bed because you're just in the thick of it. Like he's in our room. There's just it's not like kids go to bed and then suddenly you have a couple hours. So that's hopefully that'll change in some months, but it's still gonna be a little while before we move him out of our room.
When does he typically go to sleep? Like for the night?
That's the fucking problem. Is like 9 o'clock, something like that, is when he'll finally fall asleep. And there's like an hour of him laying in his bassinet, and he does this thing where like for some reason crying's better. Crying, I'm just like, he's like baby's crying, and your brain kind of like flips a switch and you just know that noise is happening. He does this thing that gives me so much fucking anxiety. For an hour, he lays in the bassinet and he just goes, and he's like waving his arms, and you're like, you all right? Like, what's going on? And that's just like how he falls asleep. He's like, and you're like, you're weird, dude. You're a weird kid. And then after all that, and like bedtime's tough, he goes to sleep and then sleeps like fucking all night. And you're just like, we just hit the jackpot as far as what he does at sleeping. So that's been great. Especially just because it's so much harder having 2 kids. So it's if I was not getting sleep, it would be really fucking tough.
And then you got Ava that comes in and is like, how does dirt work?
She's just over here trying to like figure out everything. Like, why is cancer a thing? Can't we fix it? I think I can fix it. Let's fix it. Like, fucking like, Jesus Christ. We play Donkey Kong Bonanza right now.
Oh, that's fun.
No, it's good. I just people like babies. I don't want to like shit on my baby, but like I'm not a baby guy.
I don't like babies.
They need, give me more. Get some shit going on. Like me and my daughter right now are having a great time.
Right.
And it's just like, this is fucking great. And he just needs to he needs to fucking learn to read and play like Chrono Trigger so we can get this going.
Yeah.
So
start him out with the classics.
Ava's close, man. She's gonna learn. She can already sound shit out, and she's gonna go to school learn how to read.
That's happening like this year, right?
Yeah, she'll go to kindergarten, and
in a couple months, right?
Yeah, it's not 2 months away. It's maybe 45 days away, and she really likes all of the turn-based games when I'm playing them. But I'm just like, you gotta, and she's like, I want to play, and I was like, you have to know how to fucking read. I don't tell her exactly that, but in some form, I'm just like,
learn to fucking read, like, kid.
I'm just like, I'm not going to tell you the spells, like to do the menu thing. I'll help you with other games. Let's find some other games for you to play. Mm-hmm. But she's always very interested in sitting and watching and all these characters and being like, what'd they say? And it's like, well, that lady just propositioned that 15-year-old to fuck. So let's move on to someone else and what they're saying. Let's not worry about what she specifically said,
man.
because it's kind of not what you want to fucking do. But
Well, on a completely different topic,
you're getting more dogs.
God no.
Cat.
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say that Evo's going on this weekend, Nick. I don't know where you got that. I'm a 2-dog max person. But yeah,
Evo's happening.
Evo's happening right now. Yeah.
People are extremely, well, actually, you're going to answer this question, but I've heard that people are really happy about Street Fighter and where that's at. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yes and no. There's always going to be people that are not super stoked about what's happening with the game. I think it's in a pretty decent spot. The latest update buffed some characters that definitely need buffs, and made it a little bit more competitive, I would say, across the roster. There are also still people that are upset. Sagat's coming out soon.
Sure.
So that's good. But yeah, Evo, it's a massive thing, man. I mean, it's the biggest of the biggest. It's the World Cup of fucking fighting games, and so
Sony owns it now.
they do, which is a good thing, because the previous owner is a pedophile, so that's not great.
That makes we get into.
Yeah, Mr. Wizard was his name. Joey Cellular, something like that.
There's like a headlining game, right? There's like isn't there one?
Street Fighter.
Like, Street Fighter is the one.
It's always Street Fighter.
Always?
I don't think it's ever been anything but Street Fighter as like the headlining game. Which
even when like 5 was doing its bullshit,
it's always
it
been
was still Street Fighter.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Street Fighter just kind of dictates where the genre goes, and always has, and probably always will, unless they really make some boneheaded decisions. But
Smash still there?
No, it hasn't. Smash hasn't been there for a really long time because of Nintendo.
Of course.
Nintendo does not want their competitive fighting game to be in the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. So that's a thing. They are very, very protective of it, and it's a continuity. It's from a continuity perspective. Like, are there side tournaments going on in Vegas right now for it? Absolutely. Even like sponsored. I don't know about sponsored, like actually properly.
It's not being streamed and stuff because Nintendo will DMC it. Is that what's happening, right?
Correct,
like if they tried to put it, because they could put it in Evo, they couldn't broadcast it. They couldn't do anything with it.
The problem is nobody wants to play Ultimate. Not that that's a bad game. That's a fantastic game. But, you know, the diehard competitive scene is still Melee. And for Nintendo, that is not something that
GameCube.
Yeah. And that for Nintendo, I mean, you laugh, but that game, like unintentionally, is maybe one of the most complex and deep games. Like, I'm not just saying fighting games, but any game. The amount of depth there is fucking insane. And it's even crazier when you think about it as from the perspective that Masahiro Sakurai and his team did not make it that way. It was just like a bunch of, like Bob Ross would say, happy accidents just within the game engine that made
things
it
that happened that you could manipulate or take advantage
exactly,
of.
Yes. And it is just so deep and complex for somebody that wants to invest thousands of hours of time. You can get really goddamn good at that game. And the games after that have dumbed it down just like consistently. And Nintendo doesn't want Melee to be a part of it because they're like, that game came out fucking 20 years ago, 25 years ago. We want the new fresh game to be front and center. And like, there is like a competitive scene for Ultimate, but it's not nearly as passionate or developed as the Melee scene is.
Crazy.
And it never will be. And so Nintendo is just, they're just completely behind the times when it comes to this kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, Sony coming in is a great thing. I think that they've invested a ton of money into it. And it's become something that, you know, it's always been big. It's always been huge. Thousands and thousands of people go every year. But now I think that it's just even more mainstream. And I think depending on how you look at it, like some people might be like, I don't like that, but because it like the tournament's very grassroots. Like it started back in the day, like in the mid 90s. And it was like all community funded, very grassroots kind of dynamic. And now it's not that. But the flip side of that is, you place well at Evo or you win Evo. If you're a professional player or even an amateur, you're you're kind of set as far as like a career goes in terms of like playing fighting games. I'm not saying financially set, but you're going to have a lot of opportunities, whether it's streaming or uh traveling, being sponsored, traveling to different tournaments and things like that.
That's what's interesting. The money isn't there. Like, I mean, it's not that there isn't money, but it's not there for what you would maybe imagine.
Not when you compare it to like MOBAs, like the international all of leagues, big tournaments. It's not there, not close. But Capcom Cup, Capcom Cup is the big money tournament, and you gotta through the year you gotta qualify, you get points by Capcom sponsored events. Evo, I think, is like an immediate. If you win Evo, either Evo Vegas or Evo Japan, because they do one in Japan every year now too, you get immediate acceptance into Capcom Cup. I might be wrong about that, but you get a lot of points towards getting into Capcom Cup. But Capcom Cup is like for the winner. I think the highest prize pool has been like $1 million, $2 million, something like that. So it's not nothing.
No, for sure.
Um,
You think people? You think new players play MOBAs? How many new players this month started playing League of Legends?
I think people try and then are immediately like pushed out because of its I think like the easy answer is because of the toxicity. I don't think that is the factor, because if you're just getting into the game, you're probably not running into a lot of toxicity. I
Oh.
think it's the complexity that pushes people out,
I just
where it's like unless you've got that friend or someone in your life that's like, this is what you need to do and this is how you find success. uh I don't think that there isn't a lot of good onboarding with Dota or League.
I don't know. I just don't see how they are approachable for a new player to be like, I'm going to pick up League of Legends.
Yeah.
And there are 100 and like, who the fuck knows how many heroes there are. And League's model is that you can't actually, you got to buy them.
Right.
So like it's fucking crazy because the whole, if you're going to get into League and you get into a MOBA, you need to understand what all the characters do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an enormous amount of characters you need to learn how to play. And on League's business model, you can't learn yourself. So you would have to research them outside of the game in 100 different ways. It just seems so unrealistic to me that new players, 16-year-olds, are just like, you know what we should fucking do? Is go start playing League. And my brother-in-law plays it. He still plays it. It's the only game it's like one of the only games he plays, but he's played forever, all through college. He was there every step of the way. I believe he has every hero. He knows what they all do, but he was there at the ground floor. It's a different deal. And
Yeah, I think that honestly, you might be surprised how many new players come in because there are
free. Well, it's free to start, right?
Well, it's free, and then also China exists, and there's a lot of people there, and I think they also don't have as many options just because of their kind of repressive government in terms of what games they have access to and what they can see, things like that, the Great Firewall, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's probably a lot of new players that come from that environment, but I don't know. I'm not plugged into that world, so like
you just don't hear about it anymore. You
don't hear about like
anymore.
this person. Like with Street Fighter is a good example. You constantly like you have to keep track of it because there are like from game to game there's going to be new mechanics and there are going to people that excel at the mechanics in a given game, right? And so like for somebody that pays attention to the competitive scene with Street Fighter, it's like a lot of players, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's tearing it up and he's doing really well, right? Um, with a league, I don't know if you really have that where it's like, here's this up and coming kid that's on this team that is just fucking tearing it up. And like, to be fair, there's like people that follow this shit would probably be like, no, you're completely wrong. But I don't hear about it. At least it's not, I don't see it in the circles that I follow, you know?
It's crazy. I mean, I could have been one of those people. I was on the ground floor for Dota,
Yeah.
like not Dota 2, mod in Warcraft 3. Like when that came out, I immediately was playing it, and then I played. The way it worked back then is it was the Wild West of anyone could modify anything or make it. So you would load in and it would be like, this is defense of the ancients. And it's like, that's weird. Why did I just have to download? I thought I already had it downloaded. All right.
Mhm.
And then you get in and this fucking the person that made it had made Illidan just 30 times more powerful than everyone else. And so it was just broken, right? Like one person would just be running around just killing everything. But that was what a time to be alive, because people were breaking it in ways that was so fucking funny. I wish that you'd been able to play some of that, because it was like you'd show up and all the characters would be like 8 times bigger than they're supposed to be because someone just fucking moved a slider and then redid the game. And you're like, what the fuck's going on? I just want to play Dota. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I mean it's I mean the story of Dota, you know, its inception, I mean, it's such a cool thing.
It's crazy.
And the way that it has become just this massive thing in gaming, competitive gaming, the biggest. And it has been for a long period of time.
Mhm.
When you're talking about like viewership numbers and you're also talking about the prize pools that the professional players are winning, it's fucking insane.
Mhm.
And it's just nuts that like it obviously has legs, and I never was like under the impression that like this is just a fad. Um, but I think it's here to stay. I think like for anybody that you don't see a lot of new MOBAs coming out anymore. There was a time where
That time has
people were
passed.
trying,
There were a
and
lot.
and now I think that it's just like unless you're Dota or your League, like there is, or maybe Smite. I think Smite has found a lot of players as well. But
Remember
like,
that Pokemon one?
yeah, that one's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I only
That thing's still going.
I played. I mean, we played a decent amount of it. My only issue is I don't. Its selling point is that the matches were fast. That's
Yeah.
not actually necessarily what I want. I
Sure.
like a 30 to 40 minute that style of game.
Yeah. I think that MOBAs in theory, like they appeal to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely see myself investing thousands of hours into this. And
As
then
soon as we quit the podcast.
yeah, and then I actually play one, and I'm like, nah, no, no. Like I like it in theory, and I think it's a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not like a hater by any means, but also I think that I just never really, I wasn't on the ground floor like you highlighted. So for me to go, I've tried over the years, like I'm gonna play League of Legends or I'm gonna play Dota, and it's just like you're not doing it. If you're a solo and you're not the type of person that's like, well, I'm gonna go to Reddit and like seek help, which I am not that person at all.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like kind of figure it out on my own. It's insurmountable. You can't do it.
No. I mean, I guess you can, but you're never going to get it right. Like it's way too much of an investment for you to do that.
Yeah,
like, that's ridiculous.
You could, but it would take so much time to learn and figure it out. And I just think that it's a bridge too far for me, and I think for a lot of people. And I think that again, like I don't think that we're going to see a lot of new MOBAs that are just like, oh my god, like this is like the only thing that would really play is if League was like, or Dota was like, we're gonna do League 2 or we're gonna do Dota 3, Dota 4 or whatever, right?
Dota
Like
3.
Dota 3, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, because it is Dota 2.
Mhm.
Like that would be the only time that I think people would get really excited, but there isn't really like a lot of incentive for them to do that. Why would you?
No one's really asking for it, and it's risky.
Yeah.
Really risky to even do that. And what does that even look like or mean? I I don't think we're gonna see any new MOBAs. We don't see any new MOBAs. Why would you do MOBAs when you could make an extraction shooter? Where they're fucking hot.
Yeah. They
Like fucking.
I don't know. Recent
I like extraction shooters,
so
but
do I.
people have turned fucking
Well,
south on that shit.
I really like Tarkov. That's it, really. I like Tarkov. I can't think of another extraction shooter that I'm like, yeah, I want to play that.
Division 1.
Okay,
Fuck.
yes, sure, but like I can't imagine myself going back to Division 1.
No.
But I could see myself potentially going back to Tarkov, like rebooting it up and seeing what new changes they had made and things like that.
We've played some that we had fun with, but we certainly didn't stick with them.
Yeah. But like I was about to say, like I don't know if they are that hot when we look at like Marathon, where it's like we're delaying
Well,
that indefinitely.
I was saying that in jest, and that people keep making them and they keep not doing well.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, fair.
I-
Sorry, I didn't read the room.
it's just like I don't know what's hot, right? Like what's hot,
No,
right now. What do you make? What do you what should you be releasing in 2025 to make money? Everyone's chasing the trend, right? You start this and then 5 years later your game comes out, but you made the right choice. And in 2025 you show up and you're like, fucking, I guessed right. Because it's not persistent destinies.
no.
That's past.
I think what it is, honestly, and I don't think that like the game devs like to hear this because they can't endlessly monetize it, but it is quality single player experiences. That's what is going to push the needle forward and make you the most money right now.
Claire Obscure.
Yes, exactly. Perfect example.
Yeah, you got to be fucking good. But
yeah, you got to be good. You have to have a great idea. You've got to you got to deliver, but at the same time, like that is not what resonates with a lot of these companies, because they're like, well, where are the constant microtransactions? Where are all of these things?
And I think the reason that works to make money right now is that it's a one-off that people can go play. And what doesn't work is you can't actually get people to stop playing their multiplayer games. That's what has changed in the industry in the last 5 years, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
The people that are playing COD are going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck pulling them out. And the ones that are playing their MOBAs, they're not moving. The people that are playing fucking Fortnite, like they're not moving. You're not going to ever get them to move.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right. You see, like Rainbow Six Siege just did like it's not a new game, but it's a new game that they just did recently.
Because they're scared to death because they got Siege where they had this group, a smaller group, but like they found success with that thing.
Yeah.
I think that they had up with a product that was fine. Like they did some stuff there. I didn't love the game, but clearly some people had an enormous amount of fun playing that thing. Yeah. But they're just scared of ruining it because they've ruined everything. Everything they release is just like, well, that didn't work. So they're like, well, this is like the only thing making us money. So what the fuck do we do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time, but like that's what it is, man. You know, I think Claire Obscure is the best example that you could have made, where it's just like, you know, you get a bunch of fucking sick and tired devs that are like, I want to jump out the fucking window because you keep on making me make the same regurgitated bullshit every single year. And then you're also making us look bad by being like, you know, predatory with a lot of these microtransactions that you wanted to implement into this game that we're making. You know, fuck it. We'll go off on our own and we'll do something that like appeals to us, that doesn't have any of that bullshit. It's a unique idea, and it is implemented in the case of Claire Obscure exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're finding massive success, overnight success.
They've sold like 3 million or something copies of this.
Yeah, for a smaller group of people developing a game, that's huge. And you know for a fact that, you know, they're now, after that thing came out this year, they're
set to make their next one.
They're in the
and they're gonna have legs on that thing. I think it's gonna get awards. Like they're gonna keep making money off of that game.
I think
It's
it's
not
gonna
gonna
win Game of
drop
the
off.
Year. I do. I don't. I mean, like we were talking about it. Like Mario Kart might win it. I don't, especially with where Mario Kart is and like how lukewarm a lot of people are on that thing. I think that Claire Obscure is going to win Game of the Year. Jeff Keighley's show, I think it's going to win. And I,
Maybe
I don't
the
know what
Take Two
else.
one or
Take two.
It Takes Two.
It
It
takes
Takes
two.
Two. It
Yeah.
Takes Two one. So I feel like Donkey Kong could win it.
Donkey Kong could win it for sure. Yeah, Donkey Kong. I mean, especially because Astrobot won last year. Donkey Kong could definitely win it. It's possible for sure, but it Claire Obscure is going to win awards, and it's going to really be a blueprint for a lot of developers. Like, you got the talent, and I mean, also you gotta figure out the financials, which would be kind of fascinating to learn how they did what they did um, with a fairly shoestring budget, and how successful that thing has been for them with the budget that they had. It's a blueprint for people that are probably fed fucking up working for EA or Ubisoft or any of these big devs to say, you know what, fuck it. What's the worst thing that happens? We fail. Oh well, we failed, but at least we don't have to make fucking Ubisoft games anymore, right? And uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so like that in theory is a really good thing for gaming, where we're seeing kind of the shift. It was almost like in like the early 2000s where we saw like a lot of these devs creating these like indie companies when indie games like Xbox Arcade and things like that really started to crop up, and we saw like all of these really highly acclaimed, very small, tiny little games. I think
Bastion, like that shit.
Bastion, Braid, like things like that, where it's like uh Fez to a certain extent. Uh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is the evolution of that, where it's like we have the tools, we have the ability to make something that feels AAA, but isn't necessarily AAA. And I think that that's where the industry is trending. But yeah, I mean, from the multiplayer perspective, like it just requires, a creative person to come up with a interesting idea, just like PUBG did. And it's gonna take time. It's gonna absolutely take time for that to happen. Will it happen? 100% it will happen. There'll be another like
For sure.
phenomenon genre that will crop up, but
Because
it's gonna take time.
the next generation isn't going to want to play Fortnite. They're going to want something else. And something else is going to grab them.
Exactly. Exactly.